Dear viewers, in the first part of this video, we shall see how to save all your tournament files in a chess-based file. To store your tournament games in a chess-based file, you require chess-based software. So here I'm going to use chess-based 15. You can even use lower versions like chess-based 14, 11, maybe 12, 9, whatever you have of chess-based. So now I'm going to create a new folder on the desktop. So you can create the folder anywhere in any of your directories, maybe in C colon, D column, but just for the ease of showing it to you all, I'm going to create it on desktop. So I right clicked on the desktop on an empty area, and now I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to name my folder as my games. Okay, now that I've created a folder called my games, the folder is actually empty. So now we are going to put all our games into this my games folder. So first we need to create a database file in chessbase. So now I'm going to launch chessbase, and there's an option called as file new database. So what this basically does is it helps you create a database file where you can store all your games played in a tournament. So now we have I'm going to browse it to the location desktop. In desktop there's something called my games, and I'm going to name the file as maybe my games May 2020. Okay, so all the games played in May, I'm going to create a database file of it. So once I've created the file called my games May 2020, you can see that the file has also appeared over here in the database window of chessbase 15, but right now it does not contain any games. We have to manually add the games. So once you have created this database file, if you go back and check onto the desktop the folder what you created, you can see that the folder now contains some files. Okay, these are all the associate files of chessbase, and the main file of chessbase is the one which has got that round icon, and it is the extension is cbh.cbh file. Now what we'll do is we'll start adding games whatever we have played one by one. So I'll go back into chessbase, and in chessbase I'll click on the file that is my games May 2020. So if I click on it, you can see that there are no games, and it says no games found, and the database is totally empty. So now what I can do is I can click on Control N, which actually puts up a new board, or I can just click on this board icon over here. So if I click on the board icon, I'm basically going to get a new board like this. So let's say I played white in my first game. I'm going to enter the game whatever I played. I'm just going to make moves on the board. So let's say e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bc4, bc5, c3, knight f6, d3, and then castles. Okay, and something like knight d2, something d6, knight d2. So we can keep adding all the moves whatever we have played in the game, and you can see that it's populated in the notation window. So now we need to save the game. Of course, I'm not going to write all the moves played, but in your case you may have to fill in all the moves played in your game, and I'm going to save this file now. So I'll click as file, save, and save. So once I click on that, it will ask me to provide further details. So white, let me say that I played the game as white. So I'll enter my name, and then the opponent's name I'll just put it as player A. I'm going to enter the ELO, that means the rating, FIDE rating, and let's say something like this. I'll write the result, I will put which round it is, and then maybe I'll enter the date, and this is how I'm going to store my first game. So once I store my first game, and if I close the window, you can see that it's already populated in the database window of chessbase. Similarly, if you want to add the next game, you can again click on board or Control N, and then you get a new board. So this time I would have played as black. So then I'll just press Control F to flip the board, and now I'm going to enter the moves for both the players. Okay, something like this, and let's say Scotch game was played in that position. Yeah, so this much I'm going to enter. In your case, you can actually enter the full game, and then you can save it after that. But here I'm just for demonstration purposes, I'm entering only few moves, and I'm going to save it. So I'm going to save this. It's going to ask me again for all the details. So now this time I'm going to put it as player B, and now black was Jairam. Then I'm going to enter some FIDE rating, and now this was round 2. Again I will enter some result 01, and I will put the date, okay, whatever it is, and I'll press OK. So now the second game has also been saved. If you can see, now the second game is populated over here. And again, if you want to keep entering round 3, round 4 up to round 9, whatever it is, you can just again click on board and continue the same procedure. Now let us see a tournament file that is completed. This is incomplete, so I'm going to just show a tournament file which I have already saved it before. I'll close this and I'll open Partibus 2017. Now you can see that the players' names, ratings, result, moves, the tournament name, round number, date, everything is populated over here. So one more thing what you have to realize in this position, in this situation, is that Chessbase creates the native files for Chessbase is actually CBH or CBV format, and there are a lot of operating systems like the Mac OS and on Android which has difficulty reading this CBH and CBV files. So the neutral or the universal file format to read chess files across various softwares is actually PGN, which is called as the portable game notation format. So we are going to convert all these Chessbase files into the PGN file. So you can convert it in Chessbase itself by selecting all the files together. You can select all the files by clicking on Ctrl A on your keyboard. It selects all the files. Or if you want to just send a few games, or if you want to convert only a few games to send it to your coach, you can just click on whichever game you want and then hold control and then click some other games which you want to send. So here I've selected only 3 files, but if you want to select everything together, you're going to press Ctrl A, then right click on these files and click on the option output selection to text file and select the option PGN. You can also output it as a text file, but then PGN is what we require right now. So I'm going to select PGN and click on OK. So next it's going to ask me where do I want to save this. I'm going to save it on desktop, and I'll name this as Partibus 2017. That's a PGN file what I'm going to create. Partibus is the name of the place where the tournament was held. So I'm just going to click it as Partibus 2017 and create new. Once the PGN file is created, you will get this message, and you can just click on OK, and you can close this file and check if it is really created. Yeah, on desktop we can see a file called Partibus 2017.pgn. I'm just going to click on it, and yeah, we can see all the games. Now the work is done. Okay, in the first part of the video we saw basically how to create Chessbase files and save games from your tournament into Chessbase files, and we also saw how to convert these Chessbase files into PGN files, which are more convenient to send to your coach and which can be used across various operating systems and softwares much more easily compared to the Chessbase files. So the first method was more useful to beginners because they need to learn how to save the games what they have played in the tournaments. So the second method is we're going to see how to combine multiple PGN files together. Normally you would want to combine PGN files for 2 reasons. The first reason is because you might have had all your databases scattered all across your hard disk, and you may want to put all of them in a central place. So that is why you may want to combine files. And the second reason is because you may want to filter out or search certain kind of opposition, and it's very difficult to search for a certain kind of opposition or a tactic if the files are scattered all over. You need them in a single PGN file. It's much more easy to search from a single PGN file using Chessbase. Now let me demonstrate to you how to combine PGN files. If you notice on the desktop, I've created a folder called Students Games. If I open the folder Students Games, you can see that each student has got a folder, and in each of the folders there are a lot of PGN files, If I click on it, if I want to search for a tactic or something in different folders, it is going to be time consuming. I have to open each folder, then I have to go deeply into each PGN file and then check and run chess base to check if there is any tactical possibility in those games. So this could be really time consuming. So what I would do is I would try to combine all these PGN files into a one location. To combine all the PGN files into a single location, I'm going to create a folder called all games. So I'll right click on an empty area, new folder, and I'm going to type all games. So we want all the PGN files to be stored in this location, all games. So next I'm going to search for all the PGN files in this folder called student games. So I will go to the right hand top corner and type star.pgn in the search area. So it displays all the PGN files. Now I'm going to click on a single PGN file and I'm going to press Ctrl A. It selects all the PGN files in the location student games. Now I'll right click, I'll copy, then I'll go back and paste all the PGN files in all games. So I'll right click on an empty area and click on paste. So once I click on paste, it will take maybe a few seconds to start copying and pasting. Yeah, so it shows the options. And maybe it should just copy in this 20-30 seconds. So we'll wait for 20-30 seconds. Yeah, so it copied all the files and it's asking me, do you want to replace files in the destination? So I'm just going to close this window. I'm not going to do any replacement. Okay, so now the folder called all games contains the PGN files. Now we want to combine all these PGN files into a single file, and let's name that file as 1.pgn. So we can do that by using the command prompt. Before running the command prompt, what I would do is I will select the location. Once I select, just click somewhere and then it selects the entire location. I'm going to copy the location and keep it. We shall see why. And now I'm going to, at the bottom left hand corner, you can see there's something called a search bar. Here I'm going to invoke the command prompt by pressing CMD, and if I press CMD and press enter, we can see the command prompt. So now I need to change the directory from this chessram directory to all games. So I'm going to type in CD and I'm going to right click, because we copied already this location. If I right click, automatically that location gets pasted. So I right click and the location got pasted, and if I press enter, now it gets changed to all games, and now it's at this location where we are going to create the file which contains all the PGNs in a single PGN file. So the command what we are going to use in this command prompt is copy /b, and what are we going to copy? We are going to copy all the PGN files. So we are going to use this star.pgn, and now we have to output all the PGN files into a single PGN file, and the output file name, let us call it as 1.pgn. So if we do this, it should copy all the files that is available in all games, that is so many files which are there, into 1.pgn. I'm going to press enter now. You can see that it's processing. There are hundreds of files, and basically it's saving us a lot of time in copying all these files, merging all these files into a single PGN file. So after some maybe 10-15 seconds, it has copied all the files into this all games. Let's close the command prompt and check if 1.pgn has been created. So I'll close it, and you can see the very first file is 1.pgn, and it is something like 26.9 MB file. So if I click on it, it should show me all the games of all the PGN files put together, and when I drag and check, it is roughly 37,790 games. So basically our job of combining all the PGN files into a single PGN file has been accomplished. So next, what do we do with these PGN files? So when there are so many games in the PGN file, it is very difficult to individually search for tactics from an individual PGN file when you have thousands of PGN files. So that's the reason we combined all of them. And now let's say we want to search for some tactics within this PGN file or a position within this PGN file. I'm just going to close it, and you can see that this one.pgn is already showing up in the chessbase database window. And now I'll right click on one.pgn and I'm going to click on search. And let's say I want to search for a tactic, so I'll go to maneuvers, and let's say I want to search for some tactic called as back rank. Okay, so if I tick on back rank and if I just click on OK, so it's going to take some time and it's going to search for all the positions where back rank mate was involved. Okay, so it's going to take a lot of time. Maybe it'll take 2 minutes or 3 minutes to finalize if the based on the size of the database file. So right now for the current situation, I'm just going to stop it at this point, and then we'll just check one file just to check if there was a back rank mate. Yeah, so if you see exactly the position where the back rank mate happened, it shows at that point. Yeah, so it's working. In the last method, we are going to discuss how to delete moves from PGN files. So I have created two PGN files. So in the first file contains 2 positions and the second file contains 3 positions. So let us open the first set of file. First set of file contains 2 positions which has got some answers. So basically if I have to send these positions to students, I have to delete the answers and send it. You can't delete all the moves in chessbase, or I don't know how to delete the moves in chessbase. So I have stumbled upon a software called PGN extract where we can delete all the moves, and this would be highly beneficial not when you're trying to delete moves from 2 or 3 positions in a database, but let's imagine a PGN file contains hundreds of game fragments, and then it becomes highly beneficial and it's a time saving process to delete all the moves and only retain the positions in just one shot. Okay, so let us see how to do it. So first we need to visit this website, which is cs.kent.ac.uk. so you can copy this website, and it is maintained by David J. Barnes, and he has developed a tool called as PGN extract. So it's important for us to download this tool, PGN extract, and I would really like to thank him a lot, because this tool of his has saved a lot of time in me preparing test positions, and also to delete moves from game fragments where I have databases containing more than 500 positions, 1000 positions. So if you scroll down further, you will see that there is a file which you need to download, which is called as pgnextract.exe. So I'm going to download that, and please check all the details before downloading. So okay, so this tool is downloaded. So what I would do is I would copy this tool and I would paste it in the folder where I'm going to use, that is PGN move deletion. Yeah, so I'm going to paste it over here, and now we are going to again use command prompt to delete moves from PGN files. So let me first copy this. So I'm going to right click and I'm copying this address. Then I'm going to go to the command prompt cmd. Okay, and now I'm going to change directory and I'm going to right click. So I have typed in cd space and I right click and I get that location from which we have to delete moves, that it contains the PGN files from which the moves have to be deleted. So now I press enter, so it is changed to that directory. So now for deleting the moves from this location, from this PGN files, so what we are going to do is we are going to use a string called as pgn-extract. Okay, and then we are going to set the ply limit to 0. That means it's not going to keep any moves. If you set the ply limit to 2, it will have the first move of white and black. If you set the ply limit to 4, it will have 2 moves of white and black. So that's how it is. So since we don't want any moves in the output, so we're going to set the ply limit to 0, and then the file name, we have to see what's the file name. So we want to delete the moves from both set1 as well as set2.pgn, or you may have 1000 pgn files in a location. If you want to delete moves from all the pgn files, so you can just use this star.pgn. so it will select all the pgn files in the current directory, and now we want to output that into a separate file. So we're going to use one more command. We are going to combine it with this command, dash dash output, and you're going to output this into maybe a file called 1.pgn. okay, so let me just click on enter plus enter. Okay, now it has basically processed this file, and you can see that it's processed set1 and it's processed set2, and it's also created, if I close the command prompt, you can see that it's also created 1.pgn that should contain all the files from set1 and set2 without the moves. So set1 had 2 files, and set2 had 3 game fragments. Totally there were 5 game fragments. So if I open 1.pgn, it should basically show me five games, and each of them do not have any of the moves listed now. Okay, so we have successfully deleted all the moves from the positions, and now these positions can be sent to the student. Yeah. Thank you.